The Adidas Evo SL's one of the most hype shoes ever in the running world. So many running influencers are talking about this, so many people on the street you see have these. I think they look really cool. I was in need of a new daily running shoe. My Nova Blast 4s had done me really well, I loved them, but I thought, you know what, these are hyped so much, let's see what they're like, and then I can do a video on them and let you know if they're overhyped or if they're actually good. So I've now done over 100 kilometers in them. I've run outside on roads, pavements, gravel tracks. I've done a half marathon race in them. I've been on treadmills with them. I'm qualified now. I'm a qualified Adidas Evo SL specialist. So first things first, I really like the way that this shoe looks. I know that shouldn't really go into too much of when you're choosing a running shoe. You want one that's going to be the best for you when you're running, that's not going to hurt you or make you injured, the one that is going to propel you to get a new PB, whatever it might be, but looking good just does come into it a little bit as well. And also, when running shoes are so expensive, I sometimes try and think, what would they look like after I've ran like, I don't know, 500 miles in them? Can I then turn them into just a lifestyle trainer? And I think with these you probably could, because they just look pretty cool. I went for the black pair because I just like the way that the black pair look compared to the white pair. I've had a couple of other white shoes recently and they just get really muddy and dirty, and I was like, you know what, the black pair, hopefully, will be better. I managed to get them on a discount. The good thing about these shoes are that they're like a year old now. They're £130, which as daily running shoes go are about right. Asics Nova Blasts are about the same, 135 I think. However, you can probably almost always get these on a discount now because they're over a year old. So if we take a quick look at, that's the wear and tear after 100 kilometers. I know 100 kilometers isn't that much when it comes to running shoes, but it looks like I barely run in them, really. I mean, they're a little bit scuffed and stuff, but not badly at all. But we're going into actually running with the thing now. I did a short on my channel that you can check out of my first ever run in these guys, and TLDR, I don't really like them.
They don't feel special yet. I've heard some people say they need breaking in though. They do look quite cool though, the shoes. They feel quite hard and firm underfoot. There's not much give in them. Maybe I'm just used to softer shoes, I don't know. Maybe I have to break them in. When I was doing more of a slow, easy pace, they felt like that and a bit clunky. But as soon as I started to go a little bit faster, I think that's when they really come alive.
They look great, I felt great in them, but they felt pretty hard. Not quite what I was used to with daily trainers being the Asics Nova Blasts. They're a bit more squishy and soft. These guys, pretty hard underfoot. And something I talked about in that short as well is that I got a size up in this, or half a size up, sorry. So usually I get 11.5s, with these I got 12s. Previously in Adidas trainers, they've been quite snug and narrow for me. I've got fairly wide feet at the, what even is that? Where my foot knuckles are? Do your feet have knuckles? Imagine this is my foot, where the knuckles are there, and these are my toes. I've got a wide bit there anyway. But what I'm trying to say is, if you are getting these shoes, I would advise trying to get a half a size up if you can. I think there's a little bit more space in them then. I did a couple of pieces to camera, like on runs or after runs, that I'll intersperse in this video as well to get my raw thoughts. But basically, I didn't really like them at first.
First run in the Adidas Evo SLs in like a week or so. So I've had a chance to kind of think about it and come back to them. As soon as I put them on, they felt really light, which is quite nice. Not what I'm used to. But yeah, running on a path like this at the moment isn't too bad. When the path gets a little bit wobblier, or if you're on a pavement that's got a camber or a trail, they're really not stable. Like, I do that a lot, not fully rolling my ankle, but I think it's a rolling ankle waiting to happen. Which is crazy. Pace-wise, they make you, I think because of the way that they're made, the way that the mechanics are, they make you go a little bit faster. But I think that's because you kind of have to do that to run the way that the shoe wants you to run, so that you don't roll your ankle. So they're definitely not an easy or stable recovery shoe at all. They're pretty firm, not soft like some shoes that I'm used to, but get them on a flat road or track, you're good. Tempo pace, threshold pace, something like that. These are bangers. And I think because they're not that stable, my legs are having to like work overtime a little bit on correcting that a little bit. And my legs are slightly bowed as well, which probably doesn't work well, but that's just me. So my legs after like 3-4 miles in these feel like they're possibly doing more work than they are if I'm in shoes that I'm used to. Does that make sense? Maybe.
One thing that I did notice as well is that they kind of try and force you into running fast. I don't know if it's the geometry of how they're designed, or if it's the foam, or a little bit of everything. They're pretty light shoes, which is nice to feel, but when you're running in them, it really does feel like if you're going out on an easy run, it forces you to go faster without you even realizing, which in one way is nice because that's, yeah, I'm going faster and it's easy, I'm not even thinking about it. But in another way, if you are trying to do a nice easy run, I don't think these are the shoes for you. You're gonna have to possibly supplement them with other easy shoes that you might have, which if you're watching this kind of video on YouTube, you probably have a shoe rotation. So I spoke to a friend who has these and a couple of other people that I've seen online that have got them, and they said that once you run like 30, 40, 50k in them, they do soften up a little bit and you kind of have to break them in. Break them in, I thought? It's not a horse, it's a bloody shoe. Every other shoe that I've had, running shoes, which isn't that many, 5 or 6 or something, maybe, they've been absolutely fine from the get-go, like wonderful. These guys, I had to absolutely break them in. Just finishing up run number 4 in ye old Adidas Evos, and it's the most that I've liked them so far. We're coming up to nearly 40k's running them now, and they seem to be softening up a little bit. I like them a little bit more now. Maybe they take a little bit of time to get used to. And I would say it probably took about 70-75k before they were broken in, but after that they did seem to soften up, and I would happily go out and run in them now. I don't know if that's just because they like mold to your feet a little bit, whether the foam needs a bit of breaking in, I don't know, but they did start to feel better, or maybe it's like Stockholm syndrome and I just got used to them a bit more. But the Adidas Adizero Evo SL's tongue twister of a name, whoever made that at Adidas should have just made them an easier name. The Adidas Garys or something, I don't know. One other thing that I noticed about them whilst I was running is that they are quite unstable. I'm not used to how unstable they are. A lot of the other shoes that I've worn for running have been much more stable. When you're running on a flat road, it's absolutely fine, or a treadmill or anything, you don't really notice it. When you're running on a pavement that's all bobbly, there are potholes all over the place, a path for a little bit, it's an ankle breaker waiting to happen. There's not too much grip on them, but it's not too big of a deal unless you're running in like a massively wet, muddy area. Another annoying thing for me, again, it could just be me, everyone's feet are different. The side bit here, I don't know what it's called, the side of the shoe that goes just under where your ankle is. It's probably, nearly dropped it. It's probably to do with the way that I run. I kind of land slightly on the outside of my foot, but then this bit was rubbing into every single step was digging into the bit under my ankle. And after, you know, you're on a run, you do thousands and thousands and thousands of steps. It got quite painful after the runs when I got home. And I was like, oh, is that an injury from the shoe? Like, I think it's just like a little bruise from that digging in. My left foot was absolutely fine, but my right one, I've never had that on a shoe before. So again, another thing about these shoes, who knows? Maybe my mechanics are just weird. But yeah, the shoe just bashing into your ankle, you don't really want that at all, do you? But when they're at their best is when you're running at tempo pace or faster, which, as they're marketed a lot online as a daily trainer, is crazy. For me, a daily trainer can do everything from really slow long runs all the way up to possibly interval track sessions. These guys, they don't want you to go slow, but when you turn up the pace, they feel fantastic. 2 weekends ago, I did the Wilmslow half marathon, and we were going at quite a pace, not quite my PB pace, but not far off. I'd say it was like a 8.5 out of 10 effort for me, pacing my friend to a sub 140. And we got 139, and it was a lovely race, beautiful race. Definitely recommend anyone who's local to the area to do it next year. But they were absolutely fantastic in that race. And then after that half marathon, I went out on like an easy recovery run, and again, they just make you want to go faster. But after 100 kilometers of running in the Adidas Garys, I genuinely do like them. Are they overrated? I think yes, but that's just because they are so highly rated by everyone that you see online. Are they good? Yes. Are they my favorite shoes? No. Genuinely, I think I prefer my Asics Nova Blasts to these. And if I got the choice of getting Asics Nova Blast 5s, I think are the latest ones, or these again, I'd probably get the Asics. But if I was choosing one to run a half marathon race in, a 10k race in, I would definitely choose these over the Asics Nova Blast. You could almost have both of them in your shoe rotation, even though they're both marketed as daily shoes. I don't think these should be marketed as daily shoes, really. Which is why if you were making a shoe rotation or something, I wouldn't have these as your like everyday long, slow shoes. I would make sure you have these and then maybe some others. I use the Asics Gel Nimbuses, they're fine, they're nothing special. they do the job for a slow run. However, for the price that you can pick these bad boys up, and just because they're nice shoes in general, they're definitely worth it. You can get them for about £100, maybe just under if you're lucky. And for a running shoe in the year of our Lord 2026, that's quite a good deal. I've enjoyed running in them. I've enjoyed that it's been slightly different. I've enjoyed that they try and make me go faster. I've enjoyed running in them in a race. And I'm looking forward to putting a couple more 100 kms in them and seeing how they perform after that. If you're a beginner looking to get your first pair of running shoes, I don't think I would recommend these. I would recommend getting something a little bit more stable with a little bit more cushioning at first, and then maybe as your second pair, get something like this. The conclusion of this video was going to be me running a half marathon trying to get my mate a PB, but on the day I just felt like not recording, and I really enjoyed the race not recording, so I'm glad I did that. But now it feels like this video doesn't quite have a conclusion, apart from these shoes are quite good. If I was going to give them a rating out of 10, I would maybe say 7.5 or 8, depending on what you're doing. If I was going out on a nice little tempo run, possibly a 9. If I'm going out on a long run where I'm trying to go slowly, probably like a 3. So, you know, somewhere in the middle of that. However, they're good looking shoes, you can pick them up pretty cheap. I did a video the other week about trying to beat Philly Bowden's Strava record on a canal near me, and it was quite funny, so check that out if you haven't already.